Happy Thanksgiving Sunday to everyone. It is episode 124 of going live daily for more than five, as we all know by now. And I'm turning a corner here in the campaign. I talked yesterday about how one corner was turned in the sense of, oh my gosh, I think the Greens are going to win this one in Saint Croix if you vote. So thank you for that. We are just feeling that momentum and getting that sense. But for me, today was my last wedding of the season. Yes, my day job is officiating weddings in New Brunswick and teaching people all over the world through my global business how to officiate weddings. I book up a year in advance a lot of the time. And so today, this weekend, yesterday, the rehearsal, today, the wedding ceremony was way up in the Kingston Peninsula. Bates Barn, beautiful venue up there, an hour and 40 minutes away and then back yesterday and today. So, of course, that took me away from campaigning, did knock on some doors and make some calls when I could. But now I am ready starting tomorrow for the final week. And if you haven't voted yet, please do. But I am ready. And, today I wanted to talk about how disappointed I am in something that I learned from the Stop Spraying New Brunswick group. And it is simply this. But first, let me first say, back a couple months ago, this was a no-brainer for me and for Greens. The Stop Spraying New Brunswick group asked candidates and is asking candidates to sign a simple declaration that says they will work towards stop the ban of spraying glyphosate, the practice of that in New Brunswick. And so I'll show you the form. If you haven't seen it, it's going around to candidates. Again, this was an easy one to sign. The Green Party actually recommended that we sign it. I've been following this group for a while. So I, as a candidate and first-time candidate, I thought, is this something that we can do? And then, of course, I pulled it up. I was thinking about it for a few days, and then the Green Party said, sign this because it is in line with what we think, and it is in line with our policy and our platform. So I want to read it to you. Stop Spraying pledge by MLAs, party leaders, political candidates. And here's the declaration. I, and you write your name, Mark Rollo, member of Green Party, New Brunswick and Saint Croix, pledge that when elected, I will take concrete action towards the banning of herbicide spraying on public lands in New Brunswick. This will include working to raise awareness on the issue in the legislature, the executive, and my constituents, drafting a bill with the assistance of Stop Spraying New Brunswick, tabling and debating this bill in the legislature of New Brunswick, actively work towards gaining support for this bill together with Stop Spraying New Brunswick among elected MLAs. Signature signed on September 26, 2024. As I said, this is something that Greens are all about. But I learned over the weekend, this group is actually making it public, that Liberal candidates were asked by their leader not to sign this document. And so you need to know that as someone who is thinking about casting your vote. And I think about you, McAdam, and I think about you, Lawrence Station, those areas where when you look on the spray map, we are seeing glyphosate spraying in our riding. I'm talking to people who hunt deer and hunt moose in those areas, ride their side-by-sides through the trails. They get to those clear-cut areas with the signage that say, this area has been sprayed, use caution. Of course, the moose are moving out of these clear-cut regions. They don't hang out in open spaces like that. And there is a sense that the ecosystem, the fauna, they can tell, the animals can tell that there is toxin in the ground. And so they are moving away from these areas. As I said, you need to know that the PC government is just continuing to allow forestry companies to go in and lease this land and clear cut and then spray, and then they will replant only conifers. And frankly, I was extremely disappointed to learn because I thought, oh, maybe the other progressive party, the Liberals, would be for banning the spraying of glyphosate. But then it is being revealed that they were all asked not to sign this petition. And then when you go into their platform, which is now public, and see their stance on ecology and environmentalism, you get to this point, and I'll put it up on the screen here. It simply says this. we will investigate. Okay, check. This is something they're going to do. Investigate alternatives to pesticide and herbicide use and reevaluate. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's so pathetic. Reevaluate the safety of glyphosate with new and comprehensive data specific to New Brunswick. I want to encourage you, if you're at all on the fence about this topic, to go back and see my, I don't know, 10-part series on glyphosate and how harmful it is and how the evidence is clearly there and how many jurisdictions are banning it, because really it's just a question of, is it toxic? Is it super toxic? Or is it extra super toxic, in the sense of, is it killing things? Is it getting into the flora and fauna and causing disease and illness, let alone, the clear cutting practices and drying everything out? Or is it cancerous? But it's just a scale of that. It is not a sense of, well, is it bad or is it good? The science is clear, the evidence is there, and the Liberal Party is, I hear it all the time at the doors. People say it's time for a change because clearly the Liberal and Conservative parties are in the pockets of the large corporations. And sometimes people lump Greens in there as well because they don't understand. Take it from me. We Greens don't have any money. not even close to what the Liberals and Conservatives have. And you can just see, with a policy like this, let's reevaluate glyphosate. The big forestry companies, the big four in New Brunswick, want to continue this practice, and they lobby. That's part of my series. The glyphosate industry lobbies governments, pays them. Remember, Monsanto purchased glyphosate for something like $62 billion. What's a few billion lobbying some governments and donating to choice individuals in the government to say, hey, just slow down with the glyphosate banning. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. This is, again, one of those reasons. If I had political ambitions, let's face it, I might not be running for the Green Party. I'd be running for one of the other two big parties. But it's a matter of values. It's a matter of principle. It's a matter of integrity. And I continue to believe that we need to stop waffling on issues of environmentalism. We need to stop with the soft pedaling and saying we need another study, we need another review. No, we need to take action. And that's why Green Party candidates signed that declaration, signed that piece of paper without reservation, because spraying of glyphosate needs to stop in this province. Maine has very progressive forestry practices. Quebec has very progressive and advanced and modernized forestry practices. So here we are, flanked on two sides by a state and a province who believe that we need to start treating our forests with care and with modern practices, and not poison the land and not clear cut just for the sake of profit. And New Brunswick is still on the fence on that. I'm really sad for the candidates, and the candidates who are Saint Croix, my counterparts who are running for this, and who say they care for the environment, but they still are. They're a member of a party that is soft pedaling this and not committing to changing things. It seems like I've run out of time. I do want to talk tomorrow now, because I've talked about that. The Liberals being non-committal on this, not committing to the banning of glyphosate. And I want to talk about what the Greens have explicitly said, what's in our platform, and how we are going to help small private woodlot owners who are a major backbone of the forestry industry, but also they are New Brunswickers running businesses, and there is some policy and some plans that the Greens want to do to help them have sustainable businesses as they practice sustainable forestry. It really is a case of working together for our common good. There that is again. And when we are subsidizing the big four forestry industries, allowing them to drive down the price of lumber, and again, those clear cutting practices involving glyphosate, it's just bad. It's not a common good solution. It's bad for our earth, it's bad for the industry, and it's bad for New Brunswickers. So tomorrow, let's talk not about the bad stuff. Actually, you know what? It might not be tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to do a bit of a cheesy Thanksgiving video. So it'll probably be Tuesday where we pick up on this. part 2 of how we are going to help small woodlot owners. And I'll give you a bit of history of the forestry in New Brunswick, because I've been knocking on doors up in Lawrence Station and Rollingdam and McAdam, in areas where there's I talk to people who do forestry, and I know that they care for their industry and for nature and being sustainable, and we want to help them out. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving weekend. I will see you tomorrow, Monday.